Good evening and welcome to the August 21st, 2024 Roseville City Council meeting. I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We'll start our roll call with Vice Mayor Bernasconi.
Here.
Councilmember Elverd.
Here.
Councilmember Mendoza.
Here.
Councilmember Rakucci.
Here.
And Mayor Haldeshell.
Here.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask Troop 11 to lead us in the pledge.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Troop 11. All right. Next, I'll ask the city clerk to announce the meeting procedures.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the City of Roseville's regular City Council meeting. Agendas are available at the end of the staff table to your right or online on our city's website. All comments from the public should be directed to the City Council and not to any staff member or the audience. All speakers are requested to speak from the podium as this meeting is being recorded. For items not appearing on the agenda, members of the public may address the City Council regarding any item not listed on tonight's agenda and within the subject matter jurisdiction of our City Council. Public comments are limited to 25 minutes in this first segment, and each speaker will be provided with 3 minutes. If the time limitation is reached in the first segment, there will be a second opportunity for members of the public to address the City Council just prior to council comments. The Brown Act does prohibit the City Council from discussing, debating, or taking action on items that are not listed on the agenda tonight. Items appearing on the agenda, speakers will be provided with 5 minutes to provide input that should be relevant to the item that is listed. Time will be monitored, and once the red light begins to blink at the podium, we kindly request that the speaker please conclude their comments. Lastly, if addressing the City Council tonight, please consider stating your name for the record. With that, thank you for your civic participation tonight, and welcome to the City of Roseville.
Thank you very much. We'll start off with a presentation, and Kathy Suhu, would you join me at the podium? Oh, you can on the other side. Yeah, come on.
It's been a while since I've been here.
All right, well, my colleagues and I would like to recognize you, and I think this award is proof positive that you don't have to be appointed or sit on the council to make an enormous contribution to our city. Would you?
I do.
Councilmember
We're going to say a little
Rakucci.
bit about you so that people know what great things you've been doing. Sylvia Bassana was a lifelong Roseville resident who exemplified the meaning of volunteerism. This award is a tribute to her and her lifetime community service. This annual award recognizes individuals in Roseville in our community who display a commitment to community service, serve as role models by inspiring others to make a difference, and who also display leadership, excellence, integrity, and throughout her volunteer service. Our 2024 Sylvia Bassana Volunteer of the Year is Kathy Suhu from Child Advocates of Placer County. Kathy has been a volunteer for 13 years and serving as an advocate for foster youth in our community, as well as a supervisor and mentor for numerous court-appointed special advocates. Her work helps ensure the safety of youth in our community and that they have the best chance possible for a healthy and happy future.
On behalf of the Roseville City Council, we congratulate you and present you with the following award and resolution. Whereas Sylvia Bassana, a Roseville native who epitomized the word volunteer, spent the greater part of her life giving to the community and making a difference through her commitment to serve, and the continuation of her legacy will enhance the Roseville community for years to come. And whereas there is no greater asset to a community than the power of dedicated volunteers who give their time and talents to work tirelessly behind the scenes unconditionally, and
whereas the impact of one person can be inspirational and far-reaching in benefiting the community, and whereas the Roseville community has benefited from the outstanding volunteerism of Kathy Suhu through her long and dedicated service to Child Advocates of Placer County, and it is fitting that she be recognized for these efforts. Therefore it be resolved by the Council of the City of Roseville, California, that Kathy Suhu be commended as the recipient of the City of Roseville's 2024 Sylvia Bassana Community Volunteer Award. Congratulations and thank you for your resolution. And wow, look at this, look at this.
Shiny.
I mean,
Ooh, that's shiny.
I didn't even put any fingerprints on it.
Oh, that's
Stage
beautiful.
is yours.
All right, thank you. Well, I've been a volunteer my whole life, but I think Roseville is what changed my life 16 years ago. Me and my husband moved to West Park. Thank you, Scott. And I immediately our neighbors started the Neighborhood Watch. And after that, it was the next thing. I started at the Gathering Inn and, just started volunteering there. And quickly, I found child advocates because I wanted to know, well, where are the kids in the community? Where are the kids? But even after that, I volunteered at Stand Up Placer. I did the Roseville Police Academy. But it was really, I kept coming back to child advocates. I was on the grand jury for 2 years, just learning so much about the community, and I just would fall in love with Roseville. So there's two things that people know about me. I love Roseville, and I love kids. And so from the first child I had 13 years ago, my supervisor is here with me today, it changed my life because I was the voice of a child. And this child had been removed from their home. She was 7 years old, just this little tiny girl. And week after week, I'd take her to the park. We'd go get ice cream. We'd just have fun. And one day I said, okay, I'm going to go talk to the judge. What do you want the judge to know? And she said, I want my bird back. I don't want my daddy to hurt me or hurt my bird the way he hurt me. I want my bird back. And that judge wrote a court order. In 3 days, that little girl got her bird back. And that, 13 years ago, is what got me to stay here for this long. So I appreciate City Council for honoring me. I'm very nervous, as you can tell. But I appreciate all my friends. I can't believe all these people showed up for me today. And I love Roseville and I love what I do. So thank you.
This is,
Okay.
You want a picture?
Jenny, don't you want us down in front to take a picture? Yeah, we should, right? Let's do that.
Yeah, it's special.
You want to take this out and hold
I'll
it?
take my award. It's prettier than all my tennis awards. Wow, it's very pretty.
You're going to go and stand with her.
No, come on up here.
All right, you ready? Over here. 1, 2, 3.
One for the office. We're so proud of you. Oh my gosh. I'm sure they do.
They're gonna share. Can we send a car to get them? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'll send PD if you want to.
Okay, well,
That was nice.
I thought that was all public comment. Okay.
All right, guys.
We just got 45 minutes of our meeting
Over
back.
and under just changed.
Anyway, speaking of public comment, I'd ask the city clerk, this is the time in the evening, and I ask the city clerk to announce the procedures for public comment.
If you're going to be making public comment, please step up to the podium. You will be provided with 3 minutes or such.
And public comment is on agenda items not on the council. Please step forward.
For non-agenda items?
Non-agenda items, yes.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, council members. I'll state my name in just a second.
there are some concerns regarding a matter that I would like to address, and I want to be clear that it would be unfair to not just myself, but others in my position, as well as the community, to not speak up. My name is Nick Bussey. I've been coming to council meetings regularly for about a year now. For those who don't know me, I am a father of 4 children, the CEO of a nonprofit, a graduate of Roseville Chamber leadership class, a veterans advocate, and a proud dad of a West Park junior cheerleader. I'm also a candidate for Roseville City Council. I love Roseville, and in particular, I value the great work of our neighborhood associations, and I really do appreciate the leadership this council has shown to financially support the Roseville Coalition of Neighborhood Association, also known as Arcona. Arcona has a clear non-political policy on its social media platforms, and as a candidate myself, I value and I respect and I abide by that policy as I should. There is no place, zero, for political communications, whether directly or indirectly, on this particular non-profit social media page. This regulation is actually even posted on the behalf of Arcona themselves. I also believe that political operatives should not be administrators of any neighborhood social media page, as that gives them the undue power to promote a candidate and to prohibit posts from other candidates. That's unfair, and honestly, I think that is undemocratic. However, the husband and the campaign strategist of one candidate running in District 5 is indeed an administrator of several neighborhood association Arcona social media platforms and is listed as an Arcona board member on the website for 2024. In this committee on these neighborhood association pages, he has boasted on the qualifications and endorsements of his candidate wife and directs readers to her website to learn more. And as recently as yesterday, last night, he's described me as suddenly pretending to be involved in my community. And let me assure you, I am not a pretend father, a pretend CEO of a nonprofit, a pretend veteran advocate, or a pretend business owner, previous business owner, but I'm certainly not a pretend candidate. The call to action here is that the council member will immediately retain from name calling and recuse himself as an administrator of all neighborhood association social media platforms while he and his wife are candidates or council members. Dirty politics, even with a smile, is still dirty politics. His actions on Arcona neighborhood association pages are drawing too close to the political line, and this threatens Arcona's nonprofit status, and even worse, compromises the spirit of the neighborhood associations as non-political entities that serve all of Roseville. Thank you.
Other public comment on non-agenda items?
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor and Council, I just want to thank you for letting us come up here. I'm John Justin with Troop 11. We have a bunch of our scouts here tonight, as well as our Scoutmaster, Mr. Clark. And we just wanted to announce that we are celebrating 100 years this year, Troop 11 is, of continuous charter through our charter organization, which is the Allen Butler Post 169. So with that, on September 7th, we will be having a spaghetti feed and fundraiser, hoping to get as many past, present Troop 11 members together, as well as anybody from the community who wants to come out and just help support the troop and such. So we just wanted to let everybody know, and that's our purpose tonight. That evening will include dinner, silent auction, dessert auction, and all the proceeds will go towards supporting the funding of our troop equipment and future outings. But again, we just wanted to make an announcement just to let everybody know that we're having the event, and we're really proud of our 100 years. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Before you leave.
Yes, sir.
Where?
Oh, yes. Good. It'll be over at Veterans Hall.
Okay.
And again, it's on September 7th from 6 to 9 p.m.
Thank you.
So we'll be out about in the community, just trying to get tickets and stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Others who have public comment on non-agenda items? There'll be a second opportunity later in the evening in case somebody thinks of something. Now I'll request the city clerk to announce the procedures for approving the consent calendar.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. All matters on the consent calendar are considered routine in nature and will be approved by one motion of our city council. There will be no discussion on consent calendar items unless a member of the city council, staff, or a member of the public requests that a specific item be pulled for further discussion. At this time, neither council has not made any request. However, we did receive a request to pull item 7.22 regarding the Sierra Vista parcel acquisition project. It will be removed and continued to the September 4th City Council meeting at the staff's request. There are, at this time, if any member of the public would like to pull an item for further discussion, please step up and tell us which item. Okay, seeing none, Mr. Mayor, then before the City Council tonight, the City Council will consider consent calendar items 7.1 through 7.21, with item 7.22 being continued to the September 4th City Council meeting. If I may have a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you. We have a motion on the floor with a second. We'll start our roll call with Vice Mayor Bernasconi.
Yes.
Councilmember Albert. Councilmember Mendoza.
Yes.
Councilmember Rakucci.
Yes.
And Mayor Haudashelt.
Yes.
Thank you.
That takes us to resolutions. The first item is 8.1, State Ballot Measure Prop 36, the Drug and Theft Crime Penalties and Treatment Mandated Felonies Initiative, with Mr. Walensky and Chief Bergstrom.
Good evening, Mayor Haudashelt and council members. I'm Mark Walensky, Government Relations Administrator for the City of Roseville, and I'm delighted to be joined for this presentation by Chief of Police Troy Bergstrom. Tonight's presentation provides an overview on Proposition 36, the Drug and Theft Crime Penalties and Treatment Mandated Felonies Initiative that has qualified for the November 2024 ballot. Ultimately, staff requests the City's Council consideration to adopt a resolution in support of the initiative. Californians statewide will be asked to vote on Proposition 36 on November 5th of this year. The initiative has garnered support from small business owners, victims of fentanyl, social justice leaders, community organizations, and elected officials alike. Proposition 36 aims to address the rising issues of drug addiction and theft complicated by the 2014 voter-backed initiative Proposition 47, which lowered penalties for these crimes. Proposition 47 more than doubled the amount a person could steal before facing a felony charge from $400 to $950, and required that thefts under $950 be charged as misdemeanors. Proposition 36 would increase penalties for crimes where money or property worth $950 or less is stolen. The initiative would make the crime punishable as a felony for individuals who have 2 or more prior theft-related convictions. For these individuals, Proposition 36 would make the punishment up to 3 years in jail or prison, depending on an individual's criminal history. The initiative would also increase sentences based on the amount of property stolen. In addition, the proposition focuses narrowly on accountability measures for repeat offenders of theft and drug traffickers of serious drugs like fentanyl, while incentivizing and encouraging more individuals to participate in and complete drug treatment programs. The measure creates a deterrent for repeat offenders and redirects addicts towards treatment rather than incarceration. To accomplish this, the initiative introduces treatment-mandated felonies, which combine judicial discretion with mandatory treatment programs. The purpose of the programs are to effectively curb the cycle of drug use and criminal behavior. These items include the following: drug and mental health treatment. This proposal mandates treatment for drug addiction with enforceable legal consequences for noncompliance, aiming to support recovery. Tougher laws on drug dealing. It proposes increased penalties for drug dealers, especially those involved with fentanyl and other hard drugs, with provisions for murder charges if trafficking leads to death. Revising theft penalties. The initiative seeks to reintroduce harsher penalties for repeat theft offenses, target smash and grab crimes, and allow for the aggregation of theft values to elevate charges to felonies. The initiative would increase penalties for certain drug crimes by increasing sentence length and level of crime. The initiative would add fentanyl to the list of drugs that would warrant a felony charge if an individual possessed one of the listed drugs and a loaded firearm. The punishment for this crime would be up for 4 years in prison. Currently, possessing fentanyl and a loaded firearm is punishable by by up to 1 year in jail. With respect to additional changes, the initiative would also increase sentences based on the quantity of certain drugs sold illegally. The initiative would require individuals who receive increased sentences because of this to serve their entire sentence in state prison instead of county jail, regardless of their criminal history. The ballot measure will also hold those who are committing repeat retail theft and fentanyl sales crime, I apologize, holding those who are committing repeat retail theft and fentanyl sales crimes accountable for the safety and health of our communities, create an accountability for repeat smash and grab offenders who are driving up costs for all Californians, and bring back incentives and accountability that are needed for individuals to get into necessary drug treatment and job training programs, helping them begin new lives. Currently, those arrested multiple times for hard drug use have no incentive to choose treatment with no consequences. So in conclusion, ultimately, a yes vote on the initiative supports making changes to Proposition 47 that was approved in 2014. The changes include increasing sentences for theft based on the value of property stolen, classifying certain drug offenses as treatment-mandated felonies, requiring courts to warn individuals convicted of distributing illegal drugs of their potential future criminal liability if they distribute deadly drugs like fentanyl, heroin, cocaine, and methamphetamines. In conclusion, staff requests the City Council's consideration to adopt a resolution in support of the initiative. And this completes the presentation, and we're prepared to answer any questions you may have.
Council questions?
Questions?
Oh, yeah, Vice Mayor.
So here we are potentially taking a position on Prop 36. What does a communications plan or highlights of a plan look like to residents that we can help inform them about what action the City Council may be taking?
So certainly if council adopts the resolution, then we'll have the opportunity to inform the public, and we can do that through a number of different outlets and resources. But we need to have that. We need to have that approval from council to be able to do that.
Okay, so it'll be like e-newsletters, social media potentially.
Right.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you.
Other questions?
Maybe just a comment. This is,
On
we
that?
can wait.
We can wait on it?
We can wait.
I love you, Pauline. We'll open it for public comment. Close public comment, and now we'll hear Pauline's comment.
No, I think this is a long time coming, and it puts accountability where it should be. And if you do a crime, you're accountable for it. And it makes the people who are work in the store or the people who are shopping in the store safer. You just don't want to have the feeling that, and you don't want it repeaters, because they don't see consequences. We'll put consequences in this.
And just to add,
Councilmember.
I was going to say something similar, but just to add to that, given the amount of retail and the Galleria and just shopping that we have in this city, this is extremely important. I can't say it any better than Pauline said. It's a long time coming, and we really need to protect our businesses out here.
Okay, Vice Mayor, anything to add? Councilman Alvin?
Yeah, I think this is a great idea for us to support this. This affects our economy. It's, I got to go on the Operation Grinch and see it firsthand, some of the ridiculous crimes that are committed, thinking they can just walk away with it. And the original whatever came forward originally, whatever intention they had, it clearly isn't working right, and it's damaging to our community. And we all hear from our community they're angry about this. So I think this is an appropriate measure for us to take to protect our businesses.
Yeah, I share all the comments, and, last week at State of the City, I think I had a paragraph and a half about this, so I don't have anything else to add. We'll take a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On item 8.1, the City Council will consider adopting Resolution Number 24-301, supporting state ballot measure Proposition 36, the drug and theft crime penalties and treatment mandated felonies. At this time, may I please have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor with a second. We'll start our roll call with Vice Mayor Bernasconi.
Yes.
Councilmember Alvord.
Yes.
Councilmember Mendoza.
Yes.
Councilmember Rakucci.
Yes.
And Mayor Hildeschutt.
Yes. Thank you very much for your presentation. Next, we'll go to special requests, reports, and presentations. 9.1, Grants Advisory Commission Policy Manual Updates and Direction on Voting Status of Youth Commissioner. And our management analyst, Toby Thomas, is here solo.
I
Okay.
am solo tonight. Okay, we got this. Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. I'm Toby Thomas, a management analyst in the City Manager's Office. Before you tonight are a couple recommendations from the Grants Advisory Commission regarding updates to the Citizens Benefit Fund Policy Manual and Youth Commissioner voting status. Annually, the Grants Advisory Commission, or the GAC, reviews policies and procedures in an effort to improve efficiencies and streamline processes. There are 2 items the GAC is recommending the City Council consider and adopt. Update the the city's benefit fund policy manual regarding eligibility of private schools and excluding them from receiving funds per California constitutional provision, and allow the youth commissioner to become a voting member of the Grants Advisory Commission. Staff and the Grants Advisory Commission reviewed the grant documents and revised changes to the Citizens Benefit Fund Policy Manual under the Grant Request from School section, which is on page 16 in the policy manual. The recommended revision states, funds will not be awarded directly for private schools, and a private school is any school not under the exclusive control of the officers of the public schools. Public charter schools are generally not private schools, unless it is clear that any benefit to a private school is at most merely an incidental or indirect effect, and the direct benefit is improving the quality of life for the citizens of Roseville. For example, a private school passing through funds to provide food security to its students who are citizens of Roseville has no direct benefit to the private school itself, providing direct benefit though to our citizens. This update is due to a California constitutional provision from 1879 bearing the use of public funds to aid private schools. The second item I'm bringing before you is regarding the youth commissioner's voting status. The city's boards and commissions currently have 4 youth commissioners who serve on the following: Grants Advisory Commission, Transportation Commission, Parks and Recreation Commission, and the Library Board. The Grants Advisory Youth Commissioner is the only youth commissioner without voting rights. When the Grants Advisory Commission was formed, the commissioners at the time felt the voting responsibility required more life experience than a high school student would have, given the competitive nature and the large dollar amounts given to the nonprofit organizations through the grants. Time has revealed that the youth commissioner's dedication, contributions, scoring, and feedback have proven to be very valuable information to the commissioners when making their decisions and recommendations to the City Council. Notably, their scoring, though it hasn't counted toward final recommendations, has been highly consistent with the scoring of the rest of the commissioners. Given the exceptional quality and maturity of the high school students who serve on the commission, the Grants Advisory Commission recommends changing the status of the youth commissioner to a voting member of the Grants Advisory Commission, consistent with the status of the youth commissioners serving on the city's other boards and commissions. If it's approved, staff will incorporate this change in a forthcoming version of the City of Roseville City Council Boards, Commission, and Committees Administrative Standards. This concludes my staff report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Council have any questions? All right, I'll open it up for public comment, and I hope our grants advisor, right on cue.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. My name is Bea Unidad, and I am the current Grants Advisory Youth Commissioner. Today, I am here to advocate for the proposal of making the Grants Advisory Youth Commissioner a voting member. I believe that the Grants Advisory Youth Commissioner should become a voting member because it will give a sense of ownership for the decisions he or she will make. Participation in civic engagements for the youth would be promoted as well, and in doing so, they would get the full experience of being a commissioner. This is also outlined in the City Council's strategic plan priorities for the fiscal years 2025 to 2028, which is to support community engagement and advocacy. The life lessons and experience I have earned on the Grant Advisory Commission has taught me to become more mature and responsible by performing my duties and doing public service while learning from the many people I interact with and the various nonprofits. Adding on, being a youth commissioner has taught me that my opinion and role in society matters, which in turn has encouraged me to get involved in other ways like joining more clubs or volunteering whenever I can. In several instances, the youth in our community has shown that we can handle any duty and responsibility that we are entrusted with. We complete every task with passion, dedication, and hard work because that is who we are. That is what Roseville is, a community that's strong, resilient, and caring. Thank you. That's all I have.
That's good.
I was going to ask a question, but she answered everything
I
right
have
there.
a
It was pretty
question, too.
impressive.
Go ahead, Councilman Albert.
No, she answered it. I can see if she could feel like she could vote independently, and clearly she can think and talk independently, and appreciate what she said.
Yeah, I mean, are we hiring, Dom? Is there jobs? A great job.
Contact.
Nice job.
Great job. Great job.
Thank you.
And I'm trying to remember, your dad is on the Planning Commission?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, he is.
Yeah. We just appointed him to the Planning Commission. I have a question, Toby, and I think I know the answer, and B can tell me. So in the Grants Advisory Commission, they have to look at the applications right along with the regular commissioners. Is that correct?
Correct. They do everything alongside the commissioners.
Oh, my God.
So they review, they score them, they sit at every meeting. She could probably speak on behalf of that. But yes, and it's many hours of reviewing all the applications. So they do everything other than get to vote.
And your term will be up in,
December.
right, so you're not here advocating for yourself. You're advocating for the future youth commissioner.
Yeah, well, I trust in my peers, so.
Anybody else have questions of our public commenter? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anybody, any other public comment? Now I'll bring it back to the council, and if there are not any other questions or comments, I'll ask the clerk to read the motion.
Mr. Mayor, on item 9.1, the City Council will consider adopting Resolution Number 24-294, approving revisions to the Citizens Benefit Fund Policy Manual, and also approving the Youth Commissioner becoming a voting member of the Grants Advisory Commission. With that, if I could please have a motion to approve.
So moved?
Second?
Thank you. We have a motion on the floor with the second. We'll start our roll call with Vice Mayor Bernasconi.
Yes.
Councilmember Albert.
Yes.
Councilor Mendoza.
Yes.
Councilmember Rakucci.
Yes.
And Mayor Hildeshelf.
Yes, absolutely, yes. Thank you very much. All right, we'll move to item 9.2, Council Discretionary Funds, Latino Leadership Council, and we'll have a presentation by our City Clerk, Carmen Avalos.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So the City Council, I'm Carmen Avalos, your City Clerk. Thank you for the opportunity. The City Council received a request for council discretionary funds in the amount of $1,500 from the Latino Leadership Council in support and in sponsorship of their 10th annual forum, which is themed Bringing the Latino Community Together, Latinos Thrive When Partnerships Work. The forum will be held next month on September 11th. Tonight, we have Ms. Elisa Herrera and Ms. Indira Infante, representatives for the organization, should the council have any further questions.
Great. Does the council have any questions on this request? All right, we'll open it for public comment. Any public comment? We'll close public comment. I'll just say I know that they received from the Kiwanis one of the 15, I forget how many grants, but they received a grant from, 15 grants, or 10 grants because they were all for $7,500 to celebrate their 75th anniversary. And, my recommendation would be that we make a contribution of $500 to this cause.
Okay.
Sounds like we're good? We have a motion?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good? Motion?
Thank you. With that, for item 9.2, the City Council will consider approving the request for a donation in the amount of $500 from council discretionary funds for the Latino Leadership Council's 10th Annual Forum to be held on September 11th. We'll start, if I can please have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion on the floor with a second. We'll start a roll call with Vice Mayor Bernasconi.
Yes.
Councilmember Alvord.
Yes.
Councilmember Mendoza.
Yes.
Councilmember Rakucci.
Yes.
And Mayor Haldeshell. Thank you.
You're going to stay right there for our next one, 9.3, council discretionary funds, the gathering in.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The City Council did receive a request for council discretionary funds from the Gathering Inn in support and sponsorship of their Gathering for Hope 2024 event. This year's theme is the 20s Gala in honor of their 20th anniversary celebration. This event will be held on November 15th, and there was no specified amount for this particular request. However, Ms. Darlene Colvin is the representative for the organization, is present tonight, should you have any questions.
Great. Does council have any questions? All right, I'll open it for public comment.
What did we give last year?
3, I thought. I'm going to look it up.
Good evening, honorable members of the Roseville City Council. I'm Darlene Cullivan, Chief Philanthropy Officer of the Gathering Inn, and I wanted to begin by expressing my gratitude. Thank you so much for your support. The City of Roseville has provided so much to the Gathering Inn over the years. Your partnership has been crucial in our growth from a winter-only men's shelter during the coldest winter months to where we are today, serving over 300 individuals, men, women, and families. This marks a significant year for us as we celebrate our 20th anniversary. It's time to reflect on the incredible journey we've shared with this community and to look forward to the future with hope and vision. As we prepare for our annual Gathering for Hope, I'm here today to personally invite the City of Roseville to join us as a Hope sponsor. The event is not only about raising funds, it's far beyond that. It's about celebrating the power of community and the impact that collective action can have in transforming lives. And that's truly what I'm most excited about. And your partnership would certainly mean more than financial support. It would be a testament to the relationship between the City of Roseville and the Gathering Inn, a partnership that looked upon countless individuals and families with compassion to help them find dignity, safety, and a path forward. I invite you this evening to consider this opportunity to stand with us once again as we celebrate 20 years of making a difference in the lives of those who welcome new beginnings. Together, we can continue to provide the support and services that make our community stronger and more compassionate. Thank you for your continued dedication. Appreciate each of you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Just 1 second, Darlene. So the request is for
Hope sponsorship is $3,000.
$3,000. Okay, thank you. All right, thank you. Any other public comment?
No.
All right, with that, I'll close public comment and ask the council if they have any comments or what the pleasure of the council is.
I think that's a level we've sponsored in the past. I'm comfortable with it.
Yes.
One thing to note, we have $15,000 for the year. So if we did $3,000, that's 1/5 of our budget. And we are in August.
Yep.
And we start on the fiscal year. So one thing for us to consider, I see that there's a coffee station for $1,500, golden ticket for $2,000, Hope for $3,000, up to $20,000. So just want to remind my colleagues of that too.
Yeah, no, that's important because I remember last year I think the request was for higher. We had a conversation about what the level would be and
Landed on 3.
We landed on 3, which was somewhere between the golden ticket and the speakeasy. I know I'll be out of town, so if we wanted to do, a golden ticket, I wouldn't be opposed to that.
I'm for matching what we did, last year. I mean, given that these types of events, what they bring in, and these nonprofits are not immune to any of us as far as what we do as far as business owners or what we have to buy, as residents and consumers. It's more expensive to run, nonprofits. They're influenced the same way we are with inflation. So, I think the $3,000 that we gave last year probably would not go as far if we gave the $3,000 this year. So if we look at it equally, $3,000 last year is probably less or, about the same as if we matched it from last year to this year.
It's a 20-year anniversary also. I'd hate to drop off on that. And they have served our city very well.
Yes, I don't dispute any of that, and I want for us to realize, too, this is not just a standalone contribution that we make. Our city supports them year-round, too. Is it verified that last year was 3,000?
Was.
Yeah, and I know that in years past, there's an auction, and some of us raise our paddles sooner than others.
Right.
And then we have to.
Put them down.
And then
It gets expensive.
So in addition to this contribution, there's other contributions that we as council members make. So what's the pleasure of the council?
I think because it's the 20-year anniversary, and we gave $3,000 last year. And I understand we have to watch how much we get because there's a lot of dedicated and good people and groups that come before us. But I think this group is also a very dedicated and good group, and I would be supportive of $3,000.
2020 kind of have two numbers that are similar, don't they?
Yeah.
All right. So I think it's 3,000 is what I'm hearing.
I move that we support in the amount of 3,000.
I appreciate the discussion.
All right. With that, Mr. Mayor, I'll read the motion. On item 9.3, the City Council will consider approving the request for a donation in the amount of $3,000 from council discretionary funds for the Gathering Inn's annual Gathering for Hope 2024 event to be held on November 15th, 2024. And I think I heard a motion from Vice Mayor Bernasconi. May I get a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion on the floor with a second. We'll start our roll call with Vice Mayor Bernasconi.
Yes.
Councilmember Albert. Councilmember Mendoza.
Yes.
Councilmember Rakucci.
Yes.
And Mayor Haldeshelt.
Yes, absolutely.
Motion passes.
All right. The next one is going to take a little bit of, you're staying right there, right?
I am.
Yes.
All right. The next item is item 9.4, General Municipal Election, November 5th, 2024. Consideration and direction on elections and/or appointments for vacancies in District 1 and 3.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Mayor Haldeshelt, council members, staff, and members of the public. I'm Carmen Avalos and serve as Roseville City Clerk and Elections Official. Tonight, the City Council will have an opportunity to provide direction for Roseville's general municipal election, which is currently scheduled for Tuesday, November 5th of this year. And as prescribed by California Elections Code 10229, the council has options that they may be able to utilize tonight. I'll begin by providing some background and just general overview. So on June 19th of this year, the City Council adopted Resolution 24-234, which declared and called for the Roseville's general municipal election in order to fill the vacancies for members of the City Council in Districts 1, 3, and District 5. Nomination period for the November 5th election occurred between July 15th through August 9th. At the close of the nomination period on Friday, August 9th, there was only one candidate that was nominated for District 1 and only one candidate that was nominated for District 3. The person nominated is Tracy Mendoza in District 1 to serve a 4-year term. And the person nominated is Bruce Haldeshelt in District 3 to also serve a 4-year term. Notices were posted in accordance with Elections Code 10229 on August 9th and published on August 15th. The California Elections Code 10229 requires that the elections officials or city clerk submit to the City Council a certification of facts. This information provides notice that there are not more candidates than offices available to be filled or elected, or only one candidate was nominated. The requirement was fulfilled on August 9th after 5 p.m., and a copy is attached in tonight's agenda item. This scenario provides an opportunity for the City Council to take action and provide direction. For Districts 1 and District 3, the City Council may adopt one of the following actions. 1, appoint to the offices persons who have been nominated. 2, appoint to the offices any eligible voter if no one has been nominated. Or 3, hold the election if either no one or only one person has been nominated. I want to note that if a person has not been appointed by the 75th day, that being tomorrow, August 22nd, the election must be held. So that is the opportunity that regardless of what happens tonight, we will still hold an election. With that, in that scenario, the council has 2 options. So pursuant to Elections Code 10229, the City Council may adopt one of the following 2 options available. Option 1 is the appointment option. The appointment to the offices of member for the City Council for those who were nominated to serve, if elected, the only 2 persons that were nominated. In this case being Tracy Mendonça for District 1 to serve a 4-year term, and Bruce Halderschelt in District 3 to serve a 4-year term as well. Or the second option, which is the election option. That means that the council will hold, if no one or only one person has been nominated, that the election moves forward. I want to discuss both options because they do have different requirements and allows the council to give direction. So the appointment option, if the City Council determines that the course of action that it wishes to take is to make the appointments for District 1 and District 3, the following will take place. First, the cancellation of the portions of the elections pertaining to both District 1 and District 3. Both of those will be removed from the ballot. Secondly, the election in District 5 will continue to be held as a cancellation of District 1 and District 3 will not affect the conduct of the election in District 5. And lastly, the cancellation of the election in both Districts 1 and District 3 will create a cost savings of approximately $50,000 to the city's general fund. The election option, which is what we currently have, if the City Council determines that they want to move forward with the election as scheduled, there will be an expenditure of approximately $190,000 in fiscal year 2024-25 that has already been budgeted for all election-related costs. So tonight, for Council's consideration, the City Council will consider acknowledging the certification of facts that there are not more candidates than offices to be filled or elected, and therefore consider adopting Resolution 24-305, providing for the appointment to the office of member of the City Council for District 1, Tracy Mendonça, and for District 3, Bruce Halderschelt, and authorize canceling the election in both of those districts. Or alternatively, provide other direction as determined appropriate pursuant to California's Election Code, Section 10229. That concludes my presentation, and I'm prepared to take any of your questions.
Does the council have any questions?
It's very thorough.
Okay, I'll open it up for public comment. I'll close public comment, and now this is the part you're going to have to walk us through.
I'm happy to do that, Mr. Mayor. So the first decision that the council needs to make tonight is to make a decision as to whether they want to move forward with making appointments, or they want to move forward with just holding the general municipal election as it currently stands.
What's the council's preference?
I think it's the first option that you gave us, appointing.
The appointment option?
Yes.
Okay, so it seems like there's several of you who would like to start off with that, so I will read the motion. On item 9.1, the City Council will consider acknowledging the certification of facts that there were not more candidates than offices to be filled or elected, and making appointments to Council District 1 and 3.
Does there need to be a recusal?
Clarification to the city attorney.
No recusals for this part.
Yes, correct.
This part you're making, it's going to be a 4-step process. Sorry. So this part is choose your option. Okay? Everyone's going to vote on which option they want to do
They can vote too?
at this part.
Okay.
For each other, not ourselves. Right?
We can vote on the
No later.
path.
Yeah, right, path.
That's path.
This, again, is just to provide
Clarification.
clarity in terms of what needs to happen next. So I'm hearing that the council wants to move forward with the appointments. So the motion on the floor currently is to make those appointments and move forward with that option.
So
the
moved.
appointment option. Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion on the floor with the second. We'll start our roll call with Vice Mayor Bernasconi.
Yes.
Councilmember Alvord.
Yes.
Councilmember Mendoza.
Yes.
Councilmember Rakucci.
Yes.
And Mayor Haldeshell.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now, at this point, we're going to ask Councilmember Mendoza to please leave the room.
See ya.
Thank you. So the record will reflect that Councilmember Mendoza is no longer at the dais or in the room and will not participate in this next portion of the voting. At this time, the City Council will consider making the appointment of Tracy Mendoza, the person who has been nominated for member of the City Council in District 1, to serve as if elected for a 4-year term. May I please have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion on the floor with the second. We'll start our roll call with Vice Mayor Bernasconi.
Yes.
Councilmember Alvord.
Yes.
Councilmember Rakucci.
Yes.
And Mayor Haldeshell.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, we're going to ask Mayor Haldeshell to exit the room, and we're going to ask Councilmember Mendoza to return. Thank you very much. The record will reflect that Mayor Haldeshell will not participate on the discussion or the vote on this particular section, and that Councilmember Mendoza has returned. At this time, the City Council will consider the appointment of Bruce Haldeshell, the person who has been nominated for member of the City Council in District 3, to serve as if elected for a 4-year term. May I please have a motion to appoint?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion on the floor with the second. We'll start our roll call with Vice Mayor Bernasconi.
Yes.
Councilmember Alvord.
Yes.
Councilmember Mendoza.
Yes.
And Councilmember Rakucci. Thank you. We're going to ask Mayor to return.
Bad news.
Thank you.
Bad news. All right, everybody, see ya.
Now that the appointments have occurred, at this time, the City Council will consider adopting Resolution Number 24305, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Roseville, providing for the appointment to the offices of members of the City Council for District 1 and District 3, and that were to be elected on Tuesday, November 5th, 2024, and canceling the elections for District 1 and 3, and proceeding with the elections in District 5 as prescribed by Elections Code 10229. At the same time, the record will reflect that on this vote, there will be a recusal by Councilmember Tracy Mendoza on the appointment for District 1, and a recusal by Mayor Bruce Haldeshell on the appointment to District 3. At this time, may I please have a motion to approve?
So moved.
So, second.
Thank you. We have a motion on the floor with the second. We'll start our roll call with Vice Mayor Bernasconi.
Yes.
Councilmember Alvord.
Yes.
Councilmember Mendoza.
I'm recusing, right?
Yes, that's already been reflected in the record, so you're just
Yes.
approving the resolution. Thank you. Councilmember Rakucci.
Yes.
And Mayor Haldeshell.
Yes.
Thank you very much. That concludes this presentation. I do want to just make sure that you're all aware that a notice will be sent out to the county tomorrow. A notice will be posted and published, and no one will be allowed to become a write-in candidate after today. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
Everybody, thank you.
Still work to do. All right, thank you, Carmen, for walking us through that. Next, we're going to have a public hearing, item 10.1, Roseville Municipal Code Regional Sewer Connection Fee Adjustments. And I'm going to open the public hearing. That's the important part. It says it right here, open the public hearing. And we'll hear from our Assistant Director of Utilities, Sean Bigley, Environmental Utilities.
Yes.
Good evening, Mayor Haldeshelt, members of the Roseville City Council. I'm Sean Bigley. I'm an Assistant Environmental Utilities Director. And so my main role today is really to introduce our new EU Business Services Manager. His name is Shane Whittington. Came from the city of San Luis Obispo. And so this is not his first time in front of a city council, but it is his first time in front of the Roseville City Council. So with that, we'll have a brief presentation tonight, and I'll go ahead and have Shane go ahead and get started.
Thank you for the introduction, Sean, and thank you for the opportunity to speak on this matter, Council. In the interest of, respecting everyone's time, I'm just going to jump straight into the presentation. Throughout this presentation, I hope to cover 5 things. First, I'll talk about the staff recommendations as it pertains to the sewer connection fee, and then I'll talk about the regional connection fee and what it is. After that, I'll talk about the proposed amendment, and then fourth, I will discuss the fee's relationship to SPWA, which is the South Placer Wastewater Authority. And then lastly, I'll talk about the primary objectives that are achieved by this proposed amendment. So the 2 recommendations that we have for tonight's item is to conduct a public hearing, and this is heavily intertwined with the second item. So the second item is to introduce for first reading an ordinance amending the Roseville Municipal Code as it pertains to the regional sewer connection fee. And to keep things simple, really the only thing that we're recommending for this amendment is to change the number from 9,852 after inflation, and then reducing that to 9,802. And the reason why this requires special council action is because it deviates from the standard mechanism within the municipal code to actually inflate the regional connection fee. So that's why it's a municipal code amendment tonight. So the fee itself is a funding mechanism, basically, to make sure that we have sufficient funding to support wastewater treatment demands that are precipitating from development, basically. So in the most simplistic terms, the more houses we have, the more businesses we have, the more facilities we have, the more wastewater capacity we need. And that's what this fee is aiming to fund. And then again, to reiterate what we covered a little bit in the first slide, all we're changing is the number in the municipal code. So after inflation, this would be $9,852, and we're recommending that it be $9,802.
I'm going to interrupt you. I apologize. Can you go back to that slide?
Absolutely.
Why does it say 7,854?
Very good question. So originally, when the municipal code was written, it was 7,854. But pursuant to Title 1416 OADC, we're supposed to inflate it every year by the Engineering News Record Construction Cost Index. And then after that inflation year over year over year, it's actually $9,852.
Wow.
So did they pay?
When you get to staff recommendation, I'll.
So speaking to this fee's relationship to the South Placer Wastewater Authority, so the South Placer Wastewater Authority is basically just a joint powers authority between the county, SP MUD, and then the city. And where SPWA comes into factor here is their responsibility per the funding agreement is to reevaluate and recommend the minimum regional connection fee on a 5-year basis. And it's the responsibility of the various stakeholders or the partners, so in this case the city, to actually enact and enforce the minimum regional connection fee, so to administer the fees and assess the fees. And what the proposed amendment does as far as primary objectives, it does a lot of things, but the primary objectives it fulfills is, 1, it fulfills our legal obligation to refresh the study on a recurring basis. 2, it aligns with our development goals in the city's general plan and make sure that we have the funding to support future and current wastewater treatment demands. And then lastly, it fulfills the city's obligation pursuant to the SPWA agreement to enforce and enact the minimum regional connection fee. and it sounds like we may have questions, so I'm happy to answer any questions that we may have.
I'll ask my colleagues if they have questions.
I'll ask one. So it's $50 less.
$50 less, yeah.
But like 5 years ago, it was the 7,000 something. When it was first that.
Yeah.
Well,
Correct.
So I guess what I'm saying, so the cost of, it's not called cost of living, but that's not on it every year. That it was just a fixed amount, just like if we pick the amount that was set here, it shows you what the index is over the years and what it will be now. That's why it's all of a sudden, we're just not seeing the $50 less. We're seeing the bigger picture of why.
Yeah.
That's the confusing kind of thing that.
And if I may, what happens is the fee that was initially adopted with the code, with inflationary adjustment, never gets updated every year.
Yeah, that's,
Our code every year. So we do the inflationary adjustment, we publish that, put that on our fee schedule, the new fee amount. So, whatever fee, let's say you adopt this fee tonight, 10 years from now, it's still going to have that dollar amount in there. Yes. So that's the issue, is we don't update our code every year.
That's my confusion,
Yes.
because nowhere in the staff report did it say 7,000. It said 9,852, which is the current fee.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, that helps.
That was.
All right, thanks. I'll open it for public comment. Close public comment, bring back to the council. If there aren't any other questions or comments, we'll take a motion.
No, close public hearing.
And close the public hearing. Thank you very much.
With that, Mr. Mayor, on item 10.1, the City Council will consider introducing for a first reading an ordinance amending sections 14.16.080 of Chapter 14.16 of Title 14 of the Roseville Municipal Code regarding regional sewer connection fee. May I please have a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a motion on the floor with the second. We'll start a roll call with Vice Mayor Bernasconi.
Yes.
Councilmember Alvord. Councilmember Mendoza.
Yes.
Councilmember Rakucci.
Yes.
And Mayor Haldeshell.
Yes. Thanks very much.
Nice to meet you. Welcome.
There's another Whittington in the city, isn't there?
There is.
Okay.
No relation.
All right, just want to make sure I got the spelling right. All right, this is the second opportunity on public comment on non-agenda items. We do have some high school students here, so there is some extra, where are you going?
We're not done yet. We're almost done.
We're not done.
We got to sign your papers.
Sign your paper, yeah.
Yeah, otherwise there's no evidence you were here. All right?
Oh, no.
Wow. Wow. We're going to
still have
find
some
out
left, so-
who the teacher is, and yeah, there was no early dismissal tonight, was there? Okay. All right, in serious note, any public comment on non-agenda items? Second round, okay. Ask the city manager if he has anything else.
No report, Mayor, but I do have a show and tell if we could pull up that website for the screen. So as you can imagine, I was going to sing Signs from Tesla, but I have a really bad voice, so I didn't.
Oh.
But it's election season, and so we do have signs everywhere. And as you can imagine, we get a lot of questions about our election signs and the rules around them. And so we put up a frequently asked questions webpage on our website. In addition to that, we're also pushing this out on all of our social media channels, and we'll have handouts available upon request. That way, people understand kind of what's allowed and what's not. And I really want to thank our staff for turning this around in a short amount of time. Our city attorney worked on this, our public affairs and communications staff, and our code staff. So I want to thank them. And I think this will be a great resource, not only this year, but for years to come. So I wanted to share that.
Thank you, Dom.
Thank you.
City attorney, any?
I have nothing, thank you.
Okay, great. Councilman Albert, committee activities or other things?
Yesterday, the Roseville Venture Lab had, yesterday, day before, time flies. Earlier this week, the Roseville Venture Lab had a food entrepreneur pitch demonstration, and most of the council members were there. I was had the fun of being one of the judges because I used to own a restaurant back in the day. And it's exciting to see what's happening over there. We have several, there was quite a handful of people that want to start up food-related businesses, and They take them through a whole course of marketing, figuring out who they are, what kind of products they want to sell, and how they want to do them. And we're going to have, somewhere in the future, they'll be announcing a showcase where we can actually go try things out. But I do believe that several of these are actually going to become businesses in our city, so it's working. That's the idea. And so I thought that was just really fun. It was neat to watch it in live action. I'll let the mayor talk about the American Legion thing. I hope it's on his list. I'll just make a comment. We had the State of the City last week, and it was just very uplifting. We were all there. Hopefully you saw it. If not, go watch the recording. It's just really neat to just look at the history of our city and see the great decisions that have been made before us and the plans we have for the future. I just thought it was very well done. Good job to our mayor and the team that helped him with that. I got to do something kind of interesting with WAPMA, the Western Placer Waste Management Authority, our landfill. I got to go out and tour Module 6, which is a big, humongous hole that's lined with lots of layers of plastic and gravel and plastic. And it's going to be the next area where we put our garbage. And it only happens every 10, 15 years. They dig a new hole. And it was just massive. It was pretty exciting to see. And the technology in garbage, just amazing. And then part of the Placer County Air Pollution Control District Board, we got to go tour a very, very large coffee manufacturer that I did not even realize existed. It's the San Francisco Bay Coffee Company out by the Lincoln Airport, and it is huge, gigantic buildings and roasting process, which is why the Air Pollution Control District's kind of involved to make sure, they don't emit bad stuff. And very impressive what happens in our region, some of the neat things that are around here. And I did a little post on it, and just watching all the community talk about they didn't realize it was close, and this has been their favorite coffee for a long time. So it's kind of heartwarming. We've got a kind of a neat thing here in our region. And while council doesn't discuss things that happen during public comment, there are comments that I can make as a council member based on public comment. There was a candidate that came up earlier during public comment and came on TV, talked about himself as a candidate, gave a description about a situation that happened online and used the word dirty politics. And he was referring to me. And he felt that I have access to be able to remove his posts. And so one thing I want to mention is I was president of the West Park Neighborhood Association. And I attend all the Western Arcona neighborhood associations, and I still serve on the board, and I'm on the executive director's board for Arcona. That's part of my service to the city. It's an independent 501c3. We do have policies about campaigning on the websites. And with this particular candidate, using the word dirty politics, he did not mention that he himself had violated that many times on every single Western Arcona page and got removed from a whole bunch of them. And I did not do that removal, nor did I remove his posts. We have multiple moderators on each Arcona page, and while I have reported posts before they get removed by other people, I just don't want to be involved in that part. And so I think the word dirty politics happens. I don't hold it against this gentleman, but it's the staff call it Silly Susan during elections. I believe I use integrity in how I serve in the community. And it was disappointing that that kind of politics was used here on TV, and it's kind of sad I'm even responding to it, but I figured there will be no other response and it'll just be a given thing. So hopefully we all remember that we're all neighbors, and when this election's over, there's 5 candidates on the western side. I'm not one of the candidates. My wife is one of the candidates. I'm trying to be very careful in what I do. And when we're all done, we're all still neighbors. So one person will get elected and the others will appreciate their service, I'm sure. That's all I have to say.
Vice Mayor Bernasconi.
Okay, thank you. Just a few things to note. I know that many of us will be at Amazon Fresh grand opening tomorrow, and that will be certainly a great option for our residents right next door to Costco. We're all invited for that. The board that I sit on, the Greater Sacramento Economic Council, will be present for that. I think it's important to note that the Greater Sacramento Economic Council, they are in Korea right now. You recall that about 6 months ago, the mayor and I attended businesses that are located here from Germany, as well as other businesses that we visited in Germany who have an interest in coming to this region. So I know that that's what they're doing in Korea, is talking with potential companies that would like to come to this area, which is them doing the groundwork and helping relationships. Melissa's here from our economic team, shaking her head because she was here, or nodding her head because she was in Germany with us, and will take part in tomorrow. And I know that you, Melissa, helped to open a lot of doors as well and work closely with the Greater Sacramento Economic Council. I would just second the State of the City that was last week, given by our mayor. Did a great job, had a full house, and a lot of community support, so really well done there. And I will maybe let you touch on the presentation that you gave to the realtors last week, too, out in West Roseville.
Forgot about that.
And I just want to say real quick, the students that are here, we're so glad that you're here. And I learned this because my kids are in government class now. Do you know that or at least at this school, Roseville High School, they allow the students to watch the council meetings or commission meetings online, and allow the student to take a picture in front of their computer watching it, which is fine, but I think it's awesome that you're all also here, too.
Yeah, it's really nice to have
So
you.
I know there's some flexibility now that COVID gave us, that they can watch them on YouTube. So I just give you a lot of credit for being here this evening and seeing us live in person. I know it might be kind of boring, but kind of this local action that we're able to take about the city that you live in, it affects all of you. So we're glad you're here.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Councilwoman Rakucci?
Yeah, thank you. Just a few things. Today I went to my Northern California Power Association. They have every quarterly legislative and regulatory afternoon. So we were there about 4 hours talking about state, federal, and local electric issues that affect Roseville and our region. So I did that. Tomorrow will be their regular meeting on basic things that they'll have, and I'll also be there on their executive committee in the morning. Wanted to mention the State of the City, like it's been said. It was fantastic. The ones last year and the year before that were fine too. I think they're all good, and they talk about Roseville in very kind of different ways, the same but different. And I really did enjoy the one about past, present, and future, and how it ties of what we were and what we are and what we're going to be is connected because of the love of Roseville and the caring of our community. And it was really felt there. And a lot of camaraderie just walking in there before you talk, Mayor, and afterwards even more. So that was really good. Yesterday was an active day. Some different groups to learn about. One was called California Recovery Center. It's off of Revere Drive here in Roseville, and it's behavioral and it's mental health and drug abuse assistance. A new program here in Roseville that'll be a benefit for people, and another opportunity of getting help if you need it. And it was also mentioned it's for everybody, but an emphasis on military, soldiers, and first responders, or anybody who's in intense situations. And also I went to that, and then right afterwards was here at the Venture Lab across the street here was that pitch showcase, which it was a demonstration of rising star food entrepreneurs, and they're learning more techniques and how to make sure that you can be successful in your business. But I enjoyed being there and seeing how they started and what they're doing right now, and how they've gotten from not really knowing anything about it to really having a love for this and a real passion to what they were doing, and their food was delicious. We got to try things, so that was fun, and it was fun to see them with some groups, families, and people that they work with, and they got to do a presentation. So you watch them do a presentation, and they tell you about their business plan and what they plan to do and how they want to sell it, or they want to be in a truck, selling food. But it was real exciting to see their passion for what they do, and their interest of possibly doing something here in Roseville. So that was really kind of fun. And let's see. We also, over the weekend, we had the Boy Scouts here, but they also had something at the Veterans Hall, and it was the same group, American Legion Post 169, and the Legion and their auxiliary, and they were celebrating Girls State and Boys, and Girls State reporting on having the opportunity of working with other students in California, and I believe it was at Sacramento, pretending like a mock city, like being council members, or they were talking about being Supreme Court justices and governors, and if you were in that position, what were you doing? And they said how beneficial that was to them, and how they felt that they really got a sense of how intricate cities are. One of them, it was cute. One girl said, "I didn't know they had, like City of Roseville had attorneys." I said, "Yes, we have attorneys." Yes, we have attorneys. But I also mentioned to them things like, "Did you know we have like a microbiologist?" Things that you'd think, okay, they have council members and a city manager and police and fire, but we have all kinds of occupations, because City of Roseville is a microcosm of really a community. I mean, it is a community. And so if you go to the water treatment plant and want to make sure what your water quality is like, talk to those microbiologists. There's all kinds of people here in Roseville. So that was good, and I think that was it. It was just a real busy and nice to see Roseville in many different aspects. So I'm tired, but it was really good. I'm done.
Councilmember Mendoza.
Well, being the last one in the reports is kind of like being the last guy in the lunchroom when they're passing out cake.
I'm the last
Well, you're the main guy. You come in because it funnels up to you. So I don't have much more to add that my other council members haven't already said. I went to many of the same events, so I have nothing further to add, except that it's always good, as is previously noted, for everybody to get together. I just want to say, since I have an opportunity here, to thank my colleagues for the appointment this evening. I'm looking forward to another 4 years. We have a lot of work to do. The next 4 years, we have some big items that we outlined in our council goals and our strategic plan. And I know that all of us will pitch in and equally do our part for our residents. And I look forward to working alongside all of you to getting those goals and that plan done, and continuing to serve and advocate for our residents and our businesses. So I just want to thank you guys again. I really, really do appreciate it and love working with all of you. So thank you, Mayor.
Thanks very much. I'm going to start with the most common mentioned, and that's Boys and Girls State. Had an opportunity with Councilman Albert, Councilwoman Rakucci, Assemblymember Patterson, and Congressman Kiley came in the end. But much like B, Oneida, we heard earlier this evening, one of the really touching things was, and I didn't know this, was that somebody I know in the water world who works for Yuba County Water Agency's daughter was in that class. And then somebody down on this end, I got to meet our city attorney's daughter, who comported herself really well. Claire, right? Yeah. But it's so gratifying to see and hear, like we did tonight, how thoughtful people are, and how compassionate and community oriented. And I asked them, what the issues of their generation were, and 5 or 6 of them got up and mentioned mental health, social media, and other things, and they were very articulate. Councilwoman Rakucci and myself, and maybe yeah, I know Councilman Albert had to run to a meeting, but we were at the Grants Advisory Check
Oh, yeah. I forgot that.
presentation. And you saw a picture earlier in our council item on the Grants Advisory changes to their rules, so that was good. After our last council meeting, we had a SACOG Board of Directors meeting. Tomorrow, 7:30, Amazon Fresh. Assemblymember Patterson and I are going to make some prepared remarks and get out of the way once they cut the ribbon, and everybody wants to go in there. But I'm really interested in looking, and I'll say this tomorrow, so get a little preview of it. But, and I think I said this at the State of the City last week, Roseville is an area that has attracted a number of firsts. And Amazon Fresh is going to be another one of those firsts, a first of its type in Northern California. So that, as Vice Mayor Bernasconi mentioned, and she was gracious to join me, we met with Guide Realtors, the brokerage, who celebrated their first anniversary in West Roseville, gave a really fast presentation. We did some fun facts and some fast facts about Roseville, and I appreciate her joining me. I got introduced to, I can't remember the woman's name now, but she's a lifelong resident of Roseville, third or fourth generation. And as I said in the State of the City, I mean, that is Roseville's brand. We are not, we do the important stuff and the stuff that doesn't always get the headlines, but we do the business of the city. We stand on the shoulders of those who've come before us. The city, the downtown specific plan is an overnight success, a quarter century in the making. There's a lot of things, and it was really appropriate to me personally that we did it at Goldfields, and we had Monk's Cellar, the 10th anniversary. It will be later this year, on September 20th. And so that iconic block of Roseville, and kudos to staff. I'm looking forward to seeing, if John's back there, I'm looking forward to seeing the video, because I saw some pictures that were posted on Facebook, and I said, those aren't the slides I saw the day before. And so I know staff was really, really working on putting together a slide deck that kind of reflected the tone, and to be able to say what our accomplishments have been for the last year related to our 6 goals and policies of the city, and to highlight those was really valuable. And there's a wide variety of how many times I ad-libbed. Somebody said 19, somebody said 27, but anyway, that's that. I'm City Manager Casey, we had a high school intern program this summer. Was that just for the month of July and it's over with, and no
That's correct.
graduation class? No requirement for them to come and make a presentation
No, sir.
for us? Okay. All right, and last thing I do want to ask, and I don't want to violate any Brown Act here. I have, and I will say it publicly, I've told all the candidates in District 5 I will not endorse in District 5. They all know it, and I will keep to my word. But I am concerned about Arcona's involvement in this, it goes back to the appearance. I'm going to say the appearance, right? Because appearances are important. I'm concerned about Arcona's role in whether it's deciding on maps or, getting in political. So I can't direct anybody to say to do anything, and I won't. I will just say that I am concerned about Arcona, and I know that it is in their charter that they will not take a political stance on or be involved in political. It's a violation of their rules and regulations. So I take seriously the comments that were made tonight, and there can be the strict reading of the letter of the law, and then there can be appearances, and sometimes appearances, perception is reality, and I will just leave it at that.
I echo your concern, though, Mayor.
Anyway, I don't want to violate any Brown Act, but I did want to just go on the record, just express my concern, and most importantly, you know, I've told all the candidates I will not be endorsing, so do not take these as any position representing anybody other than myself. And with that, we'll be adjourned till September 4th, I think. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you, everybody. Oh, and we can sign and take selfies.
Monday.
Yeah, wait.